Ever wonder why you're craving certain foods one week and then feeling totally drained the next? It turns out your hormones are calling the shots, but you can actually eat your way to better balance. The author of a new book, Hormone Healthy Eats, nutrition and hormone health coach Lauren Chambers is back at New Day to help us boost our energy and tackle all those cravings. Hello.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
After the cereal and everything we had this morning, I'm very excited to have something healthy here.
Yeah.
What are we making today, and what do you love about this dish?
Yeah, so we are making ground turkey honey sriracha protein bowls from the ovulatory phase of my cookbook, which we can get into. And I love it because it's got some lean but nutrient-dense protein that's going to help balance blood sugar. We've got some bok choy, which has sulfur compounds. We can get into how that supports us with eliminating excess estrogen, and then some rice to kind of balance it all out. Comes together in 30 minutes. So
30 minutes or less.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sold. How do we get going?
Okay, so first we're going to start with the sauce. So if you want, you can help me add in all the ingredients, but because this goes fast, the stir fry itself, I like to do the sauce. So this is gluten-free coconut aminos or tamari. It's like a gluten-free soy sauce.
What's this?
It's honey.
Honey.
That's going to add a little bit of sweetness.
I guess you could maybe even do hot honey. Is such a big thing
Hot honey
right now.
would be so good too.
Okay.
So you better like spiced if you're doing that, and the sriracha. Then I've got sriracha, which add according to your spice preference. If you have kids, you might want to go on the less side.
Definitely make it a little more mild.
Yep, smoked paprika, sea salt, minced ginger.
Okay. A little
then,
fresh minced.
Yep. And then some lime juice.
Fresh limes too. You're always
Fresh.
on the fresh kicks.
Yep, love the fresh lime. Oop,
A little zest.
A little zest. And then we're just gonna, sorry if I'm squirting you.
No, you're fine. And then what's this?
So this is arrowroot flour. So this is like a thickening agent. So it's kind of like cornstarch, but it's less processed. So
Does that go in right now
Yep, that
too?
goes
All
in.
of it? Okay.
And then we whisk it. And then when you cook it, it gives the bowls this like that glazy, saucy, sort of thick sauce that's really appealing. So it just kind of helps thicken it up so it's not super watery.
This is amazing to make your own homemade sauce too,
Yeah.
because you always think that's going to take forever.
Yep.
But that's got to be so much healthier than what you're buying in the stores with all the preservatives
Yes.
and ingredients that you can't name sometimes in there.
That's one of my biggest hacks. Like, get everything else basic and just make a sauce. Because less refined processed ingredients, the taste is amazing. It can make anything like restaurant worthy. So
Now the pan.
Now the cooking. So if you're cooking rice, I forgot to mention, you want to start that first because that's going to take longest. But we already did that to save time. So now we're going to cook. We're going to add in some ghee and then the shallot and garlic.
That's fine. I'm using my finger. We're okay with it. Some ghee. Why that instead of butter?
So butter would be great too. I just personally like using ghee. I feel like I digest it a little bit better. It's clarified butter, so the milk solids are removed from the fat. So if someone has lactose intolerance or has trouble digesting dairy, you still get that like buttery taste and the health benefits, but just maybe easier to digest.
Definitely. Yeah. Do these go into as the shallots, did we say?
Yeah, that's shallot. So you can pour that in. If you don't have shallot, you could also do like half of a yellow onion chopped. And then the garlic, which is already minced.
Amazing.
And then we just kind of saute that for a minute, and it's already getting fragrant.
Yum. And while that's doing their thing, how does what we eat really affect our hormones, would you say?
Yes. So nutrients derived from the food we eat are actually the building blocks of our hormones. So like protein is a structural component of our hormones. We need to consume it in order to make hormones. If you want, you can add in the turkey now too.
Yes.
Dietary fat, I know, sorry. Don't touch the meat. Let's use this one. You want to kind of break
the meat.
Put some muscle in it.
And if you're not using turkey, what other protein could you use in a rice bowl like this?
So you could use ground chicken. If you are in your menstrual phase or on your period, you might want to do a red meat like bison or grass-fed ground beef, because that's going to have a lot of bioavailable iron. And you're losing iron stores with blood loss, so it's going to help you replenish. I like using lean proteins. This is for the ovulatory phase of the cookbook. And when you're ovulating, estrogen is high, and it's a natural appetite suppressant. So you might find you're craving like more lighter, leaner foods, but it's still very important to eat. because it's such a nutritionally expensive task.
And
So
I want
that's
to
what we
talk
do.
about then Hormone Healthy Eats, your new cookbook, because like you were just mentioning, it's in phases is how you have it set up.
Yes.
So explain.
Yep, so if you are a woman in your reproductive years, do you want to stir this?
I would love to, yes. You're like, get to work, girlie.
I know, I'm sweating over here. From your first period to your last, you experience 4 distinct hormonal fluctuations every month. So your menstrual phase, your follicular phase, your ovulatory phase, and your luteal phase. And those impact everything in your orbit, your brain function, your gut microbiome, your metabolism, your immune system, your stress response, your reproductive function. So we need specific macro and micronutrients to support each hormonal fluctuation. It's going to give your hormones the building blocks they need. It's going to help reduce symptoms and, again, help support ovulation and facilitate a healthy menstrual cycle.
Amazing. And obviously this is for women in those years, but the cookbook could be really for anyone, right?
Yes, yes. So I have 3 little girls. So all the recipes were taste tested and mostly approved by them. And my husband loves them as well. But that was something I definitely took into account when creating the cookbook, because the last thing I want is to make it more complicated for women and moms and caretakers. Like, who wants to be making multiple meals a night? Not me. So
No.
I wanted to structure them all in a way where anyone could benefit from them, anyone could enjoy them. They could come together quickly. Like, this is 30 minutes or less and taste amazing too.
Absolutely. And as we're running out of time too, how would we finish this up for people at home? And then you have a finished dish that I'm
Yes.
going to enjoy.
Totally. So once the turkey or ground meat is cooked through, then we would add in the bok choy. Like I mentioned, that's a cruciferous vegetable. So those have sulfur compounds, and that helps support your body in eliminating excess estrogen, which, if it remains too high in relation to progesterone, can cause all those PMS symptoms in the latter half of your cycle. So we want to be supporting that. You could also do broccoli is another great one, like I
Yes.
included there. Cauliflower,
Green
kale,
onions
cabbage.
too you put on it.
Yep.
And then is this little sesame seeds?
Yep, sesame seeds. I just love a little topping, a little eye pop, pull it all together. So, yeah.
Fantastic. This was so good. Thank you so much for
Thank you
being
for
here.
having
I learned so
me.
much.
Yeah.